Today we're going to be looking at one of the charts on the front cover of the reference table that pertains to the average chemical composition of Earth's crust, hydrosphere, and troposphere. This is probably one of the more direct charts on the reference table and probably one of the easier ones to interpret. When looking at the chemical composition chart, it's important to keep in mind that they're going to provide you with the element and the symbol that stands for it here on the left. These are definitely not all of the elements, but the ones that we need to know with regard to this particular chart. They'll then give us information about the crust, which can also be known as the lithosphere, the hydrosphere, which is the water layer sitting on top of the Earth's crust, covering 71% of the planet, and finally the troposphere, the lowest layer of the atmosphere. From here, it's pretty straightforward. We could be asked questions like the following. What percent of the Earth's hydrosphere is made of hydrogen? Well, we would go to the hydrosphere column, we would find hydrogen, and literally line up this row with this column to see that the hydrosphere is made of 66% hydrogen. Keep in mind, if you were to land in any of these boxes where there is no value, we can assume that the default value is 0%. Another type of question you might be asked. When talking about the crust or the lithosphere, it's important to keep in mind that you could be asked about the information in percent by mass or percent by volume. It's important that you read the question carefully so that you land in the right column. You can see that the answer would be very different depending on which column you're in. For example, what percent of the Earth's crust in percent by mass is made of calcium? So percent by mass is this column, calcium is here. For that question, the answer would be 4.15%. However, if you were asked about the percent by volume of the Earth's crust that is made of calcium, you would notice the answer here would be 1.18. Let's take a look at a couple of sample questions that are related to this diagram. Here we go. Which pie graph correctly shows the percentage of elements by volume in the Earth's troposphere? So I'm just going to underline a couple of key terms before I go back to my reference table. They want to know the percentage of elements by volume in Earth's troposphere. So volume, Earth's troposphere. Back to my reference table. By volume in the Earth's troposphere. Well, here is my troposphere column, percent by volume, and it looks like we're looking at 21% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and 1% other. When I bounce back to my choices for that question, 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% other looks to me like choice A would be the way to go. Another type of question that you might be asked based on this chart could be like this. Which element has the highest percentage by volume in the troposphere? Once again, it's by volume in the troposphere, and they want to know the highest percentage. I'm just going to take a moment to erase this. So we're looking at a clean chart. Okay, so let me refresh. Troposphere, highest percentage by volume. When I bounce to my troposphere column, it looks like the largest number is here, which belongs to nitrogen. So when I go back to my question and I consider my choices, there it is, nitrogen. Perfect. These are very easy questions and very straightforward, easy points to get. The last example, the element oxygen is found in the Earth's, and then they basically want to know from that chart which layers of the Earth contain oxygen. When I go back to the reference table, it looks to me like oxygen is found in all three of these layers, the crust, the hydro, and the tropospheres. So when I look at my choices, here I need to pick the one that refers to all three layers. I hope you found this helpful and a good refresher on how to read this chart off the front cover of the reference table. Thank you.